Hi everyone, welcome to Wild We TV. I'm your host and president and founder of Wild We, Janae Duane. I'm here with the board, and this is sort of a coffee talk. We wanted to really get to know you guys and also talk about issues that we find are very close to our hearts. You know, I really want to talk to you guys about women and self-worth today, because what I am finding over and over again is so many women are charging less than they actually deserve, are undermining themselves and undermining what they have to offer, and it's just popping up everywhere. And I would love to hear what you guys think are some of the solutions or small steps that women can take in order to start to raise the bar without, without feeling like it's this extravagant change. And I'll give you a situation of what I did, and then I'll have you guys chime in. So a friend of mine who's a web designer, she was charging about $50 an hour and was doing incredible work. And her competition was actually making $100 an hour. So I said to her, Brenda, look, just start to move your numbers up. And she was so afraid that she was going to lose her customers, that if she charged more, there's no way that her current customers will actually stay with her. So I said, you know what? Just say that inflation, there needs to be a price increase, and see what happens. Come to find out, she raised her prices I got her up to 75. She kept all of her clients and actually was able to get more clients because they actually thought that it was better. They were better services. They felt that it was a better quality product because it was a higher price. So it's just interesting how women are so afraid, or I'm finding, and tell me if you disagree, because if you disagree, that'd be great. But I think it's pretty. There's much a consensus here. That women are just so afraid of that change and so afraid of valuing their self-worth. And it's pretty remarkable. So any suggestions or advice, or if you disagree, I really want to hear about it.
Yeah. So I actually totally agree with you. Exemplar is one of the first companies to use value pricing, and I find especially the women in the organization have a lot of trouble with the concept of, what value am I giving? I think it's sort of an emotional aspect, is we don't want to be rejected. We want to feel like we have a ton of work. We want to, even if it means we're charging $10 for something we should be charging $200 for, as long as we're busy, we feel happy, we feel secure. And I think it's really something that you have to get over and really be objective and say, what value am I giving? What are people receiving? And what am I worth? And I think there are too many mental and emotional blocks for us to really do that effectively ourselves. I think it's great if you can go to a friend, a mentor, an advisor, someone who can be objective, tell them what you're doing and tell them to set a price on your behalf, because they're bound to be a lot more optimistic and come up with a higher price than you. And then just stick to it and communicate that value to your customers, explain why you charge what you do. And I think you'll find that it's really effective, and you can probably charge an even higher premium than your competitors because you're providing the great services and the value.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I would also say, according to what Max said, that you just have to just set your price and be firm. If they don't like it, they could just move on. I find that after a couple of weeks after sending a proposal, and if they don't like their price, they shop around more, and then they end up coming back to you anyway. In my experience, so women have to be firm as to what they could do and what they deliver and the quality.
In kind of keeping in line with everyone. It is true, and I believe that women are afraid on an emotional level as well as just in business. Overall, women are not as profitable as men, and I think that, again, it's that they hold themselves back. They've always put everyone else in front before themselves, and they're used to doing that. So they're doing it with their businesses too. Men tend to focus just on profit, so they don't care as much about employees. So I think that there's a mix there that needs to happen with women, that yes, care about your employees, think about other things other than just profit, but on the other hand, you need to kind of move towards looking at profitability a little bit more, because if you do that, you can do much more, hire more people, and do ultimately what you want to do in the first place. And so I think that advice of getting other advisors to help you set the price and really looking at the marketplace instead of bringing your emotions in is so much more important. Looking at it strictly as a business instead of am I doing it right, and getting your own emotional feelings involved in it. So get those advisors in there that can help you to set that price, and stick to your guns, because you know you're doing the right business. You wouldn't be in it in the first place, and you know you're doing the right value, and as you said, the customers will come.
One of the things that I'm in total agreement with you on is that you want to get the board of advisors going. But I think when I look at why do women feel this way, I think some of it's undervalued, but I think a lot of it is wanting to avoid conflict and not wanting to feel bad.
Yeah.
So I don't want to feel badly if I give you a price and then you're going to look at me and then I'm going to feel bad that you think the price is too high. So going to a board of advisors or a group of people that you're kind of accountable to for setting that price, what it does is it switches your allegiance to from the stranger customer to your partners or your board of advisors. So now when I have a price and I have to stick with it, I'm saying, well, I need to be loyal to the people that I'm going to talk to, my coach and whatever every day. And that outside customer becomes a little bit less important, not in that I'm not going to give them good service, but in terms of not wanting to disappoint them. I'm going to be less willing to disappoint the people that I agreed on setting the prices than the stranger customer. And I think the psychology underneath is really, that's how it works. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
On that too, I think that thinking of your business as separate than you personally, being able to separate in your mind what you are, who you are as a person, and what your business is as its own entity. A lot of times women see themselves as their business, that it's one and the same, it's all rolled into one package. And a lot of times that's where some of the value issues come from. If you're able to separate it you're able to look at it more strategically and more about profits, more about, discuss it with the board of advisors. It's all part of that process. We're able to be more strategic in saying, okay, I want to charge this price because I'll be able to do X, Y, Z in my business. It will provide the funds to do these other things that I'm interested in doing and give me the time, for the things that I want in my life as well. And so if you're able to separate yourself from your entity, your business entity, then a lot of times that's just the price. And you have an easier time saying, we charge XYZ for this service. And it's not I charge, and a lot of times it's just a simple separation of that allows it to become easier.
And I've absolutely seen with the work that I do with my clients that it's that first step of doing it. And it's amazing how the first time you do that, the next time it happens more easily. And it's amazing too, the customers, like I see people will raise their rates and they'll have new clients that flock to them. It's similar to what Janae said, like the value becomes more apparent because the service is priced more accordingly. And one of my favorite experiences was I had a massage therapist as a client and she was charging $65 for a 1-hour session. And she says to me, and how do I track the fact that I'm getting tips? And I said, well, how much do you generally get tipped? And she says, well, almost everybody gives me at least a $15 tip. And so I thought about it, and the next time we spoke, I said, I think it's because your price is too low. And they're naturally correcting the price. The client, when they're going to leave, feels the need to give you more than what you're charging them. So she raised the price, and she actually raised it to $95, so she bumped it a lot more. And everyone, oh my goodness, that's exactly the right price. I think that's a perfect price for what you're offering because your service is more unique, or whatever the different feedback she got. And so now she has been able to really see that taking that fear, saying, yes, this is uncomfortable for me, but in order to give this service to my clients and to provide myself the resources I need to provide this service, it's looking at it as an entity and the service as something that deserves the compensation.
You've been watching The Wild We TV. If you'd like to hear more insights such as these, just go to www.thewildwetv.com. Have a great day, everyone.